This super review is sponsored by our friends over at Verve. And if you still have not signed up for Verve yet for a free trial, check the link down below in the description and you gotta try it out, where you can watch not only Dragon Ball Super, but tons of other anime and live action TV shows as well as movies. It's a combination of Netflix, Crunchyroll, Funimation, and really some YouTube as well. And now streaming on Verve, Season 2 of Harmon Quest and Last Man, new episodes every Friday, plus tons of anime. Since the beginning, they've been promoting this episode of Super 115 as the Saiyan Showdown, and that's indeed what we're going to get, because last week, Kefla and Kale fused to form Kefla, and Goku is still recovering from his fight with Jiren, not at 100%, and he has to face off against a Potara fused warrior, which brings us to episode 115. Goku vs Kefla, Super Saiyajin Boru Yabureno, which translates to Goku versus Kefla, Super Saiyan Blue beaten, which is kind of funny because we've seen Blue get beaten quite a few times, but I guess we're supposed to be surprised now that it's Kefla. But hey, it's a fused character. What do you expect? Now, when it comes to comparing this episode to the past couple weeks, it's hard because while I like this episode a little bit more than the one from 2 weeks ago, and the one from last week looked amazing. The Takahashi animation was just, I mean, it really did spoil a lot of us because, you know, Super can never look that good every week, unfortunately. But this one was somewhere in the middle. But the difference between this episode and the past couple weeks that really stood out to me is that this episode put more of a focus on other things going on in the tournament. You know, last couple weeks have been pretty much all about Goku, Kefla, and Kale. There's been a little bit of Vegeta and Toppo here and there sprinkled, and a little bit of Frieza, but this episode actually showed us some of the other fights. So it's like they're almost, you know, expounding a little bit here and really going back to how the tournament episodes were before. You know, it's not just going to be focused on them, but the focus was still on Goku and Kefla, who for the early part of this episode is tossing Goku around in God form, you know, like nothing. Goku is having a hard time, and he does acknowledge the power of the fusion. Now, one of the cool things about this episode that really put a smile on my face was early in the episode, she goes for a double axe, Goku blocks, she lays into Goku, and then she puts Goku in an airplane spin. I'm not even kidding. An airplane spin, like the classic professional wrestling move that Cesaro had been using recently a few years ago, where you grab, actually he still uses it, where you grab both their legs and then you spin them around. That's an old school wrestling move. So we saw an airplane spin. I can't remember us seeing an airplane spin in Dragon Ball. I can't even remember if we saw one even in the old tournaments. We probably did, and my memory escapes me, but that was awesome seeing the airplane spin. That one little thing is interesting. Now, we then cut away to the Grand Priest and the Omni Kings, and it is confirmed in this episode that the Grand Priest talks about the Potara, and Beerus is furious because he doesn't think that the Potara should be legal, but guess what? The Omni Kings think it's cool, so the Grand Priest announces that it is legal. Now, I've done 2 videos about this. I think it was last week I did it, or earlier this week. One was called Fusion. Actually, that was last week. The other one's called The Omni King Changes the Rules, where I predicted this would happen, but I also speculated on what it could mean. If the Omni King is going to allow Potara Fusion, then that means that other universes can capitalize on that too, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute, because it does kind of sort of happen. But the other thing is, if the Omni King is changing his mind about the rules as the tournament goes on, will he allow killing? I'm going to leave links to both those videos at the end of this one for you to check those out so you can hear my full thoughts on it if you haven't seen those videos. Plus, I also did a video last night about Ultra Instinct Vegeta and why I think he is going to be a thing in Super. But that's, you know, we'll talk about Ultra Instinct later in this review. But anyways, so again, the Potara is legal, and that's going to lead to something I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But before we get to that, they show a little bit more of Vegeta and Toppo. Toppo comes up from behind, puts him in that big bear hug, the one he used against Goku before. They show a montage of different fights going on. Gohan and Piccolo against the Universe 6 Namekians. They show a little bit of 17 and 18 fighting Kato Plesas. I didn't mention it last week, but he's like a big superhero, like the Flash, you know, and I kind of see that being a parody there. 17 just blasts him away. He's not that powerful. And another kind of joke character that Toriyama and Toei are putting in this. Now, back to the fusion thing. So in the episode, Beerus talks about how he wants to use that too, and the Supreme Kai suggests using 17 and 18, but Whis says that this could be a problem because if they fuse and then the fusion lasts until the end of the tournament time limit, then they're going to have less people on their team and they could end up losing by numbers. But as of right now, Universe 7 does have plenty of fighters. So I understand Whis' whole thing, but at the same time I'm thinking, well, they probably could get away with it and create a superpowered warrior that might be able to eliminate some people. So it's tough to say, but I do like that they're discussing things that we as a fandom have talked about, you know, in videos and on the internet and message board, social media, you know, the whole thing. So Universe 2 tries it first. So they throw up Potara and it goes to Zarbuto and Rabanra. Rabanra's the red guy with the green crystal in his head, and Zarbuto's a Sifurian with the mustache, the Tuffle as they say in the dub. And so the plan is to have them fuse, just like Kefla did. But Kefla sees this is kind of a cool thing, and quickly intercepts and destroys the Potara. I thought that was awesome, because Kefla recognizes if we have more than one fusion in this thing, I might be in trouble, you know, and so might everybody else. So that's going to end up tipping the power scale just a little bit. Well, everybody else but Jiren, right? Anyways, so then Kefla goes back to fighting Goku, hits him with a big green blast. Goku now goes to blue. They play the cool, you know, I guess the Super Saiyan blue music. Kefla then decides to transform, so she goes Super Saiyan, but with green hair. So we have this little face-to-face of like blue versus green. I really like that, like the way the colors looked. Takahashi didn't animate this episode, but I thought that the episode still looked good. I thought it did have decent animation, decent to good animation, really, and it was very colorful. You know, again, it's not going to top on last week because that was like revolutionary. And by the way, I did do a video with Anime AJ about it, so tons of videos on the channel if you haven't watched them yet. Cheap plug, but I mean, it's there for you to watch if you're bored or if you want to learn more about this stuff, because we really go in depth on these videos. So, anyways, Champa talks about how he thinks that Kefla, even though Kefla can't do Super Saiyan Blue, can still probably beat Goku, especially since he's tired from fighting Jiren. He knew that Kefla would be strong, but he didn't know that she would be this strong, right? That fusion. So they start to fight, and we have the same music play from episode 110, the Ultimate Fight music. That's called the Ultimate Fight, not like UFC. Dun, 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 dun. I know you know the song, a great song. I don't think they should have used that song here. I always felt like that song should be used for just Goku and Jiren's battles, or just Ultra Instinct Goku, but they used it here, so I guess it's going to be the new battle song. I mean, I like that song, so I'm cool with them using it. Sumitomo did a good job with that. This was fun to watch, honestly. You know, they're firing ki blasts, a little bit of physical blows, you know, good stuff. And it's once again Goku in blue fighting a fused opponent. We saw a little bit of it against Zamasu. Remember, there is that one wonky, it's kind of a wonky power scale where Goku was able to win a beam struggle against Zamasu. So fusion does not always guarantee victory when it comes to these high levels of power, which is a little irritating because I always, you know, the way you watch DBZ, Vegeto's fusion was so freaking OP. Same thing with Gogeta and GT if you want to bring that up. Point is that fusions are always really strong, but now it looks like some singular characters can hang in there, but Kefla isn't even going all out here. There was some good stuff here. Now also, they show Vegeta escaping Toppo's bear hug by doing a reverse headbutt and then flipping him over. I thought that was pretty cool, and he knows that Goku went blue. So Goku in blue going back and forth with Super Saiyan Kefla with green hair. She fires a big ki blast. Goku goes Kaioken to deflect it. Big explosion, you know, good stuff here. They show Frieza there, who he's not even sure who's going to win this thing. And Beerus points out, again, Beerus is kind of like us. Beerus is playing the role of the audience in this episode. He's talking about why Goku's using Kaioken, despite still being tired from the Jiren fight. But Whis says, well, he really doesn't have a choice. He's going to have to use it against Kefla because this is Super Saiyan Potara fused Kefla. You know, the Universe 6 prodigies, as they say. You know, and I know a lot of folks don't like that, but that's what the show is telling us. You know, if you don't like it, that's cool. I mean, everybody in Dragon Ball is a prodigy, so it's not even like a surprise that characters just show up and are strong. They've always kind of done that in Dragon Ball. It just depends. I mean, if you find them annoying, I That's fine. I mean, it's your opinion. I respect it. But nonetheless, he's saying that Goku has to use Kaioken or else he won't win. So, again, I'm like watching it like Beerus is. I'm like, bro, you're supposed to be conserving your strength. What's up with this? So, Goku rocks Kefla with a big right hand, and she's feeling the burn. They both power up even harder, and he gets to jump on her again and rocks her. So, yes, Goku Blue Kaioken can get an upper hand even on Fusion. And I thought it was funny too because Kefla gets knocked down, she gets rocked, and Champa's sitting there screaming at the top of his lungs. But she hasn't given up yet. You gotta admire the perseverance. They have a really cool little scene here. Beerus talks about how he doesn't think Goku can keep up the Kaioken for much longer because of how his body's all wrecked. So they have this awesome thing where they fire Ki Blast at Goku. Goku counters with a Kamehameha, but Goku leaves himself open. They go behind Goku and hit him with a huge kick to the face and knock him down back to base. This was a huge kick. It was like a Mirko Cro Cop in his prime in the mid-2000s kick, bro. Knocked him down and hard and out. He goes down into his base form. This was cool, and it's actually cool because it's one of Goku's old moves. During a beam struggle, you come up behind the guy and nail him. It's a typical Goku move. Kefla's learning from the master. Again, I don't want to bring up the Universe 6 arc, not the Universe 6, the arc that could end up being the Planet Sadala arc. I don't know. I still think it's going to happen, right? Or maybe a movie or something, but I feel like, again, we're seeing more of that Caulifla, Kale, and Kaba learning from Goku and Vegeta, leading to something more in the future. Like, I totally see it, and even though they're fighting, she's still learning as she goes from Goku. So Goku gets up, and he looks all beaten up. Kefla fires a bunch of Ki Blasts at Goku, and then the violins kick in. If you saw episode 110, you know the violins. So all the Ki Blasts explode around him. He begins to glow. She fires 6 more Ki Blasts. None of them hit. Goku's body is moving on its own. He's glowing. Kefla is confused. He opens his eyes, and yes, they are silver. Migate no Gokui. So Krillin is like, oh, that's what he was when he fought Jiren. And of course, Beerus is happy. And Whis makes a comment here that, it appears like Goku broke through his limitations yet again. He didn't think that it would happen again, but he did. He is surprised that it happened. So it looks like that kick that Kefla hit Goku with was strong enough to put him into Ultra Instinct state. So I guess I don't know this for sure. I'm going to rewatch the episode later, and I'm probably going to really think about it. But it looks like Goku, as of right now, until he learns to control Ultra Instinct, the only way to tap into it is to come close to dying or come close to being knocked out. That's the way I think it's going to be going. And I think that with each subsequent transformation from Goku going into Ultra Instinct, and yes, he does transform into it. You don't have to call it a transformation, but he transforms into that state of being. I think that it'll be easier and easier. Like, that's how I think it's going to work out. His body will become more and more accustomed to it. And we've seen that before in Dragon Ball too, so it makes sense. So Goku's just sitting there with glowing silver eyes, looking like total badass. Kefla's confirmed. She wants to fight. And they had this awesome, ending art effect where they go face to face and they kind of, go through each other. And it reminded me of a DBZ cliffhanger. So the fight will continue into next week. We are now 19 minutes remaining in the tournament. And next week, Kefla will battle Ultra Instinct Goku. That's going to be freaking crazy. And also, I should mention, I almost forgot to mention this, Jiren did react to all this. So, but I didn't really specify, at least I didn't see it, if Jiren was reacting to Kefla or to Goku. Maybe both. Maybe Jiren wants to fight Kefla. Maybe he feels like that would be a challenge for him. I wouldn't mind seeing a Jiren versus Kefla fight. That would be interesting. But I just don't think that Kefla will stand a chance because she was having trouble with Blue Goku, and we saw Jiren just mollywop Blue Goku. So I just don't see it happening. And I feel like Ultra Instinct Goku is going to run through Kefla. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow on my preview, and of course next week when the episode airs. So what'd you think about the episode? I personally thought it was fine. I like that they're expanding out a little bit and showing some of the other fights. I still feel like this Tournament of Power is too Universe 7 centric. I want to see the other universes fighting each other. We're always seeing Universe 7 versus somebody else. I wish they would show some other fights amongst the other universes, and also so many characters that are just floating around not doing anything. And I think that I know it's hard to animate something like this. I know it is because a lot of characters. I just feel like it's a little underwhelming, to always see the Universe 7 people. I know that they are the main characters, I get it, but it's like, I think they should show it would help improve the epicness and the gravity of this thing if they showed other fights going on. So, it's good, not great, but I liked it. It was fun, and I look forward to seeing more Ultra Instinct Goku, seeing if, him progressively getting better in this power. So let me know what you think. What did you think in the comments about this episode? Don't forget that Verve, the official sponsor of the Geekdom 101 Super Reviews, like I say every week, I appreciate all the support they give me and I give them. You can watch Dragon Ball Super on Verve. You can also watch tons of other actual movies, as well as both anime and live action. And you can watch Black Clover, which everybody has been watching lately, and My Hero Academia, which I might review My Hero Academia. If you want to see me cover My Hero from Verve, let me know in the comments. I haven't watched it yet. I know some of y'all are probably going nuts now. You need to watch it. You need to watch it. If you think so, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself and each other.